Hello, YouTube! My name is Scott, and I just got around to watching Cobra Kai. And this one was the season finale. So, Season 1, Episode 10. It's called Mercy. And it starts off about as you would think any TV show based on an 80s movie would, with a montage. They're setting up for the All-Valley Under-18 Karate Tournament, which has been described in this show as equivalent to football in Texas for fanaticism. I don't know if it was quite that good, but yeah, it was quite an impressive number of people. So anyway, the students of Cobra Kai are there, but Johnny doesn't seem to be, and nobody knows where he is. Bert, the little kid with the glasses we keep seeing, and I think this is the first time they mentioned his name, or I wasn't paying attention before, I don't know, said that he had seen him the night before standing in the rain, drunk and pissing on his car. And it's kind of a mark of Johnny's character that Bert didn't think to mention this to anybody because it wasn't out of the ordinary for him. Yeah. But anyway, Johnny shows up, and apparently there's one more lesson he needs to teach the Cobras, you know, right before they fight in the tournament. And that's the third lesson of Cobra Kai, the one they've kind of glossed over before now. No mercy. Now, on the other side, Daniel and Sam, they aren't even going to go to the tournament because they don't want to. Daniel's wife Amanda kind of has to talk them into it, you know, pointing out that LaRusso Auto is sponsoring the tournament, and she doesn't want to be there with all the insane karate moms. More on that later. And in the end, Daniel and Sam kind of talk themselves and each other into going. But, you know, they get there, and Daniel's treated as a celebrity, as a former champion. They have these banners hanging around everywhere of former champions by year. And wouldn't you know it, somebody got a shot of Daniel in the crane position and put it on a banner. Huge surprise. The nostalgia's already rearing its ugly head here. But they take their seats. Miguel's mom and grandmother take their seats. His mom doesn't understand why his grandmother's so calm, and she's just like, in Spanish, because that's all she speaks. Because no matter what happens, Miguel will learn from it. Also, I smoked a joint earlier. Now, as everybody's being announced, Cobra Kai comes in with their own, you know, little entrance thing where they're like jogging in, saying their name. Everybody loves it. And it turns out, Robbie decided to enter the tournament on his own. And from that point, you can kind of see what's going to happen. But enough about that for right now. Oh, and Amanda did wind up sitting next to the mom of a student from a different dojo, something in Topanga Canyon, I believe. And she is hardcore. She's wearing a gi. I mean, so the tournament starts. Miguel's in the very first match, and Johnny whispers in his ear, and he goes into crane position to get his first kick. You know, just to stick it to Daniel. As time goes on, okay, Aisha gets knocked out of the tournament before it gets to the semifinal, or to the, semifinals. I don't know where I was going with that. And Sam goes and talks with her, and, you know, they have a nice little heartfelt moment. Robbie, he fights on his own. Daniel kind of coaching him from the side. You get a flash. No, that doesn't happen yet. Never mind. The fighting is really good. I really like the choreography. Bert gets taken out by a guy that's not quite twice his size, but I mean, he puts up a good fight. So the semifinals come down to Miguel and Hawk and Robbie and this kid Xander, Patricia's son. And he's apparently last year's champion, and he has this long, impassioned speech that just sets up that this kid is clearly super boring without karate. Yeah. First round of the semis is Hawk versus Robbie. And Hawk winds up being disqualified after he dislocates Robbie's shoulder. Miguel, of course, takes out Xander because I think we all knew that was going to be happening. So it's Miguel and Robbie in the finals, and I gotta say, it did seem kind of contrived just as soon as we found out it was going to happen. Just as soon as we found out Robbie was going to be there. In the locker room, Daniel gives Robbie an inspirational talk. They tell him he's got to cut his father some slack because he didn't have the best of senseis. And then another little dash of nostalgia. It looks like Daniel's going to whip out the same move Mr. Miyagi did with the whole rubbing his hands together, but he calls for a medic. It's kind of funny. Medic pops Robbie's shoulder back into place. And that final... Miguel figured out Robbie's weakness, his shoulder. Johnny had noticed it before, and he actually went to comfort him because, he's his son, right? And as they're battling back and forth, Miguel keeps hitting it. And, Daniel comes back to coach Robbie, and he was telling me how he has to find his balance, and he has a flashback at one point of, his training on the log, where he's kept falling off while practicing kicks. It comes down to the final point. And Johnny's telling Miguel to do it the right way, but, that hasn't been what he's been teaching him the entire time, so Miguel doesn't really listen. And suffice it to say, Miguel wins, but he wins dirty. It's clearly not the way Johnny wanted it, even though it seems like it to, Daniel and Robbie. And they have a little moment, and I totally forgot, because I'm just remembering it now. No, let me put it this way. Miguel, is congratulated by his family and basically everyone else. His friend Dimitri says he's reconsidering joining Cobra Kai, but he keeps looking around for Sam. He doesn't realize that after talking with Aisha and then talking with Miguel and saying that she doesn't even recognize him anymore, she left. So, Miguel's probably not in the best place, even though he just won. So it looks like Daniel's taking Robbie home after this. He's telling him he's proud of him, proud of how far he got, and the fact that he should be proud of himself. And somehow only then Robbie realizes they're not headed in the direction of his house. And it turns out Daniel apparently owns Mr. Miyagi's old house, as well as his fleet of classic cars. And it looks like he's going to be taking up teaching karate again. The Miyagi dojo is back. Cut to the very end. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. Yeah, Sam, who was doing who knows what between the time she left and the time she got back to the house, well, it looks like she's going to start training too. Whether it's with her father or, at the Miyagi place or at their home dojo, I don't know. But she's clearly getting her groove back. Then, cut to the very end at the Cobra Kai dojo. Johnny's just sitting there getting drunk, and he hears somebody come in, thinks it's Miguel. It's a blast from the past that I suppose we should have seen coming. It's his old sensei, Kreese. I mean, you gotta figure, after how many times he was mentioned in at least this episode, it was kind of inevitable. That, and I saw the description on the episode when I clicked on it when I was first opened Netflix. So, thanks for not spoiling anything. And that is Cobra Kai Season 1. So, what do we think? I gotta admit, on paper, this sounded kind of hilarious. I mean, somebody said, let's reboot The Karate Kid. We'll make it a TV show this time. And you know what? We'll hand over the writing to the guys that created Harold and Kumar. This is a true fact, by the way. But clearly, they're big fans of The Karate Kid. I mean, they lay on the nostalgia thick enough. There's clips from the movie, at least the very first movie, which I think they realize is the one most people saw, in nearly every episode. Some of the episodes have callbacks to previous episodes. They squeeze in the nostalgia wherever they can. When they get to Mr. Miyagi's house, you could see all of his, classic cars. They're all covered with tarps, but one has the tarp pulled up just enough so that you can see it's the one from the movie. But in between that, you've got, great character development among the kids, even if some of them are learning the wrong lessons from Johnny. Johnny's clearly learning to be a better person. He's kind of leaving the whole, swagger of a jock who never really left high school behind. And I think Daniel's on his way to, finding more balance in life between selling cars and karate. I mean, at this point, even Anthony, his son, Lil Jack Black, even he looks like he might end up doing a little karate in the future. And you know what? I'm here for it. And I'm absolutely ready for Season 2. But enough about me. What did you guys think? Drop a comment down below. Like the video, share, subscribe if you're so inclined. Hit the bell below for notifications, and until next time, I have been Scott, and this has been Just Got Around to Watching, an offshoot of opinions no one cares about. Everyone has opinions. This one was mine.